What up, YouTube? We back at it again. Told you we'd be back. We'll show you how to put this texture on, man. So, this is it. Real easy. On this texture, on this house, everybody went from left to right and putting the texture. So that's kind of how this one should be applied, but because of it being such a small area, sometimes guys just go straight up or go sideways. But let me show you that right there. And then this one's it's kind of a heavier texture. We're just matching what's here, you know. So just putting it on. And so this texturing takes probably one of the last things a plasterer learns is how to texture, because it really takes a lot of skills to do a texture, for one, and for two, to do a texture to match the pre-existing. That's where the skills and experience and time with the hawk and trail comes into play. You know, without that, you're not gonna learn. I mean, how I learned is just get on the wall and just spread. And, you know, I spread a whole building by myself, and gave me a lot of good practice. And you just learn how to work the mud. You know, if you got stiff mud, it's gonna be a little hard to spread, and it's gonna come out thicker. Your pattern's gonna be a bigger pattern. If you get the mud a little bit loose, wet, your pattern's gonna be more of a finer. So Fabian's probably been at this going on what, 15 years, say Fabian? No. 20, 15?
Around 15.
Around 15. And I think he started texturing, right? Or somewhere in there. We'll set in scaffold and
I started harder.
hod carrying, yeah. That seems like where everybody starts.
Harder the brown.
Yeah, is hod carrying, mixing the mud and setting up scaffold. I mean, that alone takes a lot of work. And he's going down, knocking down the boogers. We call them boogers, or you know, the mud that's just on the side. That's just piled up and just knocks it down. So we spread this, let it dry, so we can get a nice texture on here. If we would have done it like right after we put it on there, it's a little wet material. I mean, we could do it, but it just, you're more fighting it. So we had a bunch of other patching on this house to take care of. You know, it's a pretty good size house. Let me show you a bit. We did this probably maybe a couple months ago. This one, 2-story. Beautiful home, man. Just beautiful home. But I don't want to bore you guys with showing you everything. I just want to show you how to do a texture. So there's Fabian. So he's starting from top to bottom. And then he's going from bottom to top. And like I said, these columns they're so small of an area, you really can't just go from side to side, left to right. And he's just filling it in, and he knocks it down. That's simple. I say simple, but you get to trying it. And you're like, how in the heck you get the mud to stay on the trowel? Well, how do you even get it off the hawk? And I've had that problem when I started. I couldn't. For some reason, I couldn't get the mud on my trowel. It would all fall on the ground. But that's what happens, you know, when you're learning. But like I said, it takes you about good 2 to 3 years. I mean, if you're really hustling and wanting to learn how to do the texture, you know, it'll take you that long. I mean, took me, to be honest, to be able to match a texture and to know how to do it. I mean, it probably took me about 4 or 5 years. And that's me coming in and matching any texture, any finish, smooth, acrylic, splatter, dash, sand finish, you know, knowing your materials, knowing what's on the wall, and diagnosing, saying, hey, this is traditional stucco hole. This is a house. It's been painted several times. That's why it's got a finish like this, because the paint's thinned out the texture, you know. It's just, you know, just years of experience and being around the trade and being around other plasters. You know, the one thing about plasters, we learn from each other. And one guy has a technique that you never see before, and you're like, whoa, that's pretty dope. And you take it. And that's what I like about YouTube, man. You see guys and their different styles and their different techniques, and you can take it and apply it. I mean, for the longest time, you know, I knew a union shop wouldn't pay you if you couldn't take the mud off the top of your hawk. And that was adopted from Canada. Canada guys. It was a Canadian thing, and they took their mud off the top of their hawk. It was a union, for the reason I said, hey, why are you taking mud off the top of the hawk? They couldn't never tell me what was the reason, the purpose for it, you know. But I took my mud off the top of the hawk because it just seemed more, I mean, the bottom of the hawk. But granted, I could take it off the top of the hawk too. But to me, it just felt more natural to take it off the bottom of the hawk. You know, at the end of the day, you getting mud on the wall and you're putting it on there pretty fast and you're doing a good job of keeping it on the wall and on the floor, I can care less, man. But I knew journeymen, they couldn't do that, and they wouldn't journey them out, man. They wouldn't pay them journeyman wages. And you know, I just thought that was wrong, but you know, it is what it is. But I mean, that was probably 15 years ago. You know, trade's already, you know, advanced and different techniques and different styles, and just different ways that people do things. But as long as the process, the mechanics of it is done properly, you're weatherproof, you're waterproof, you're using the correct material. And, you know, I see people do the application with like a miniature trowel, like what are those, masonry trowel. And I'm like, man, that takes them forever. But, you know, I like their videos because I know putting mud on the wall isn't easy at any, you know, stage, you know, however people's doing it or applying their application. All right, we're good. Just roll it up. All right, YouTube, we out, man. And this is Fabian. He's the one that put it all together, man. All right, YouTube, we catch you on the next wall, man. Stucco Kings, we out, man.